1972 was where I received my baptism of fire. That morning, the watches were synchronized, and we were to start our first attack at 8 o'clock. And I remember I was up there on the hedgerow, kind of peeping out across towards the German positions. There was a lot of things going through my mind, and one of them was, am I going to be man enough? Am I going to have guts enough to put one foot in front of the other one? And I was wondering, how will I function? And I wasn't thinking so much of death right there at that time. And just about 3 minutes till 8, I looked down the slope. It's some other GIs. It looked about like a squad of riflemen, and they were in a circle, and they were on their knees praying. And Chaplain Anderson was in the middle, and he was praying for them. And there, for a moment, I had a burning desire to want to be down there on my knees praying with them. And the first time in my life, I guess I realized that I had something wrong with me spiritually. I couldn't put my finger on it. Anyway, those 2 or 3 minutes just zipped by, and all of a sudden we heard the yelling, "Let's go." And it was gonna go right out in the open. I knew I was gonna be fired on. And it was hell that day. I think within 30 minutes that day, we lost over half of our company, killed or wounded. And by that evening, we had so few men, and we lost so many officers that we were just in disarray. We were at a point where we were so disorganized, we didn't really know what to do. And here we were, a highly trained fighting machine. All the training that we took in the States, and yet confusion was right before us. And I remember I was crouched down behind this hedgerow, and I had one of the buddies from my squad. He was from Ohio, and his Name was Steve Rockovich. Anyway, he come running up behind me, and he said, Wiseman said, we'll never get out of this alive. I said, Rocky, don't look at it that way. I said, we're gonna make it, we're gonna make it. I kept telling him we're gonna make it. But like I say, we were so disorganized, and I think our regimental commander knew this. And it was probably about 5 o'clock that evening. He ordered us to withdraw back 2 hedgerows and dig in which we did. And of course they were shooting at us, going back to our old position. Anyway, while we were digging in, the Germans were firing time fire artillery at us. The shells were bursting probably about 30 feet or 40 feet over our head, and that shrapnel would just shower down on us. And there's one shell there that just bursted over me, and I could tell all the shrapnel, a big heavy piece, zipped right by my head, and it stuck in to the bank of the hedgerow and buried up. And I wanted to see it, and I took my bayonet and I dug it out of there, and I couldn't handle it because it was too hot to handle. But it was big enough. If it had hit me, more than likely my head would have come off. But anyway, they told us that at daylight the next morning that we could expect a very strong, juicy German counterattack. And so happened the Germans didn't wait till morning. They hit us at about 2 o'clock, I guess. And everybody was on the firing line. I had about 10 or 15 fragmentation hand grenades, and I was throwing them as fast as I could throw them. And pretty soon, ammunition started running low, and men were hollering for more ammunition, and which they were giving ammunition to us. But this was for, I don't know, 200 to 300 yards. This was taking place. And they were just about to overrun us, and our artillery spotter, he called our own artillery down on us. And it repelled the German counterattack. Anyway, next morning, when daylight came, there was quite a few dead Germans out there. And but when the counterattack was over, I was so exhausted. I just slid off of down the hedgerow right into my slit trench, and I was asleep immediately. And the next morning I was awakened by the sun hitting me in the face. And I looked out my slip trench, and there lay four of my buddies. They had been killed. I didn't know it until daylight come. One of them was Steve Rockovich.